Hey everybody, Graham Brown here. Thank you for joining us for Excel 10-Minute Leaders. I know it's all about leaders, but leaders aren't necessarily people with job titles. They're just people who are doing things that are interesting in life, challenging us to think differently about technology, business, and society. I'm really pleased to be joined by our next guest, coming in all the way from Canada, Jacquie Doucette. Welcome.
Hi, how are you, Graham?
Fantastic. Which part of Canada are you coming in from?
I'm in southeastern Ontario, just south of Ottawa.
Okay. And is that a real background behind you from Ottawa today? What's the weather like there this evening?
Actually, it is beautiful blue sky, nice clouds. That's the way it looks out there right now.
Fantastic. Great. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Jacquie. 10-minute leaders, we have 10 minutes on the clock. So are you ready to roll?
You bet.
Let's do it. Okay, let's start. What I'll do is I'll fire up some questions and then we'll just roll through. And if we have people who are also watching on the live stream, then feel free to drop any comments to Jacquie. If you know Jacquie as well, show your support, thumbs up, likes, etc. All right, Jacquie, your 10 minutes starts now, starting with your first question. What does it say on your business card?
My business card is blank. I don't have one
Why don't you have a business card, Jacquie?
because I think that in this day and age we don't need the business cards. We're doing things digitally. I can send somebody some information about myself pretty easily. I want to be able to talk to somebody and change what it is I'm doing if I need to.
Absolutely. I'm voting for no business cards. Let's get rid of them, throw them in the trash. So vote for Jacquie on that one. All right, then, Jacquie, as I understand, you have a very interesting background. Let me ask you a question, not necessarily about the background, but what's happening next? What are you doing for the rest of your life?
I hope to be international house sitter. That's what I'd like to be doing. I'd like to be
I-
traveling the world, staying in other people's houses.
International house sitter, is that a thing? Is that actually a
It
job or is that just a passion?
it's actually a job. There's a lot of people doing it full time. Yeah.
Okay, you've got me interested. How do I apply? And what are the perks of this kind of job? What can you do as an international house sitter?
Well, you get started by building up a profile of your own on a house sitting platform. There's lots of house sitting platforms because there are people all over the world who are looking for someone to look after their house while they go away so that they don't have to lock it up, so that their pets don't have to go to a kennel, things like that.
And
So
you
what you
get
do is
paid
you
for
go
this?
you
Or
no, what you get is an opportunity to stay in someone's house. So you get accommodation wherever you happen to be going, which is pretty expensive if you're going to somewhere for 3 or 4 months.
where's the best place that you've stayed?
Since I've only done it a little bit so far, the best place, in my opinion, is Mexico.
All
I've
right,
enjoyed my
okay.
stay there. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there always a bit of a risk that you don't know what you're getting into? You're turning up at some house and they might have like 20 cats or something, and it might just be a bit of a
I
handful.
suppose there's always a possibility, but you do go through a process. There's some interviews and things that go on first, a little bit of Zoom talking back and forth, a chance to see what the layout is, that sort of thing, before you get too far into it.
That sounds awesome. You must be really just waiting to get out there after all this kind of nonsense dies down
E-
with COVID, back onto
Exactly.
a
Put a
bit of
bit of a damper
international.
on it.
Absolutely. What's top of your bucket list for places that you want to house sit, apart from Buckingham Palace or whatever it might be?
Actually, I'd like to go to Australia, I think, because I've never had a chance to be there.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. So anybody listening in Australia who has a
Oh,
house that maybe what couple of weeks? Are we being greedy here? A couple of
oh
months
no,
maybe.
couple of months, yeah.
Okay. Jacquie is the one. All right. So you've seen her here. I'm going to ask you some more questions now, Jacquie. So let's move through this. What's your superpower? What can you
Well,
do better than anybody else that you think, apart from sitting in houses?
well, it's not leaping tall buildings. So maybe how about what I do is I help people figure out what's going to happen for the rest of their life. I'm a dream weaver. I help them get back the dreams that they lost as kids when they grew up and became, hard working people and they left those dreams behind. I help them find them again.
Why do people lose their dreams?
I think probably because they just feel that there's no chance to have a job, have a career, and hold on to the dreams, the fantasies of childhood. All the things that you can do when you're a child,
Mm,
there's just so many, and most people think that you've got to let them go. And
mm.
I'm here to say you don't have to. You can find them again.
How do you find them? So I'll ask you this in the next question. You've got 3 minutes to teach us. What could you teach our audience in the next 3 minutes that will change their lives for the better? It seems that this is something that you could do. It's a bit of an ambush question for sure,
It
but
is.
give us the bullet point summaries of what you would do with somebody to help them realize their dreams.
Okay, so the reason that I'm doing this is because my business is called Beyond Retirement. So I help people in the next stage of their life, because I think that retirement isn't the end of something, it's the beginning of something new. And so what I do is I help people step back from whatever it is they're doing and think about things the way they used to think about them, so that they can remember the hobbies they did, the fantasies they had, things like that, that they
Mm,
maybe put on the shelf for some reason. So I teach them to not be caught up in what's going on right now, but to look for what they can hope for in the future, what they can do for enjoyment. What they think they can do isn't necessarily what they can do. They can do so much more, and they're just afraid, because most people are afraid to step out and say, "Hey, I want to do that." They believe as an adult that you've got limitations, and I'm there to pull those limitations away and help them um, just dream again.
mm, rediscover. What's a typical dream that people compromise and forget about that you've heard people tell you?
Well, lately it's travel, and that's something. But a lot of people have even dreams of being able to help in their community, things that they don't think that they're able to do, something simple like that, that they think that they don't have anything to give, and they feel that they've hit retirement, they've got nothing left, there's nothing to give, nothing they can do that is of value to anybody else. So I
Mm,
help them see what they've done, what their experience gives them, and how they can be a shining star in somebody else's life just by doing something that comes so simply to them.
is it a lack of confidence as well? Do you feel that maybe they don't feel confident about the skills? Imagine they got so much
Yeah,
experience that they can offer, right?
yeah, most people have a ton of experience, but when they retire, they think, well, I'm not that anymore. Like, I
Mm,
used to be a plumber, or I used to be a lawyer, but now I'm not anything. And they lose the identity that goes with that. So it's a matter of building it all back up and showing them that they're not a label. They're a full person, full of all the experiences that they've had.
mm. Absolutely. All right, one more then, Jackie. Your 20-year-old self is watching this show now. What will you advise them? You've got a minute for that. I know there's so
I've
much
got
you could
a,
probably do it. You could do an hours of session, right?
um, I would say, make sure you don't stop dreaming, and
Mm,
write down the things that you want. Hold on to that journal that you've got, because you're going to want it later on.
mm. Did you do that? Did you, as a 20-year-old, did you stop dreaming?
I did for a while. Yeah. And now I'm
Mm.
starting again because I've hit the other end of that timeline.
Yeah, much wiser as well. So I think
Yeah.
the time is running out for all of us, right? I think we're very aware of that.
Yeah.
That's the reality. But when you're 20 years old, you've got all the time in the world. Yeah. Okay. So, Jackie, I'm going to ask you to pass the baton. Name a leader or anybody in business, society, technology who will be watching now or will watch later after you share this that should be on this show, who's got an interesting story to tell. This could be somebody you
Okay.
know or somebody you just admire or somebody who inspires you.
Can I give you two people?
Please, even better.
So one person is a lovely woman. Her name is Reem Karbat. Um, and the other one is Gina Suzanne Tierno. And
Oh,
both of them have amazing stories to tell, and they've got very different careers, very different personalities, and they'd be fantastic for this.
fantastic. It sounds like they'll be great for this show. If they're watching or they're watching in on archive on YouTube, then please be in contact. I'll give you the details after this show. All right, overtime now, Jacquie. I'm going to give you one more question because you've done so well today. And I know you were a little bit nervous before we kicked off today, but I think you've been fantastic. So let me give you one more question. So you're going to host a podcast now, and it's going to be the ultimate podcast in heaven. Who would your 3 guests be? You're the host, by the way, and this can be about anything. So these guests can be alive, dead, fictional, your choice. Who would you have in that round table to make? It's got to, for the purpose of making it interesting, by the way.
Oh, wow. Who would I have?
3 guests, up to 3. Give us the first guest. Maybe a historical
First person
figure.
that came to my mind is, crazy, I suppose. I would pick Oprah because I just love listening to her. I think she's got a whole lifetime full of wisdom behind her.
Do you think she should make a good host? Would she be good on the other side, do you think?
I think she would be. I think
right.
As long as you can ask her the hard-hitting questions, I think she'd be good.
Yeah, the Oprah moment. Okay.
That's it.
You've raised the bar with having her as a guest. Okay, so you've got Oprah. You've got 2 more seats left. Who would you fill it with?
Jeez, you should have told me about this one beforehand.
That was an ambush question. What about somebody from anybody, authors, historical figures, politicians?
I would pick Robin Cook. He's an author. I think it'd be fascinating to kind of dip into his brain about what sort of things he's done in his life that kind of bring out the stories that he writes about.
That's going to be an interesting conversation, having an author and Oprah as well. I'm sure he's going to be, I've got to get on your show, Oprah. So he's going to be wanting to promote himself. So one more, a musician, maybe? Anybody that inspires you, somebody from the world of arts?
I think the third one would be Winston Churchill.
Oh, wow.
And again, I think he'd probably take over the show a little bit.
Well, you're going to have some great speeches there. That would be very interesting. It's going to be interesting. Well, that's the kind of podcast you can just let them talk.
That's what I was kind of hoping. Somewhere in there, I don't need to say anything.
Fantastic. Jacquie, it's been great having you on the show, and thank you for being a good sport as well. Where do we find out more about you? Is there a website we can go and check out your work, or please share?
My website is beyondretirement.ca, and I've got a podcast of the same name, Beyond Retirement. Both of those places would be great places to go.
Fantastic. Go and check it out. That was Jacquie Doucette, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, Jacquie, today. It's been wonderful having you on, sharing a little bit of your life story. Very small snippet, but if people want more, they can go and check out your website as well. Love what you're doing as well, sharing the stories and giving people confidence as well in their lives, rediscovering those dreams. It's been fantastic to hear about that today. If you enjoyed this video with Jacquie, if you are a friend, family, supporter, then please give it a thumbs up on on YouTube. That will help boost it, and so people can discover Jacquie and her work as well. Jacquie, I'm going to let you go back to your beautiful weather there in Canada. So thanks for joining us this evening, and hopefully we'll see you maybe for a part 2 and an update, see how you're getting on. And hopefully you're going to be dialing in from somewhere in Australia, house sitting somewhere. Wouldn't that be great? That's Jacquie Doucette, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Graham.